don't care what the board said. Look right here on the plat map. This is my property.
Your plat map is outdated. The association moved the easement.
The smell of fresh asphalt hit me before the sun did. Cold air, a rumble of trucks. Orange vests and flashing lights right outside my window at 6:12 a.m. I walked out with coffee and bed hair and saw wet black pavement rolled straight over my sidewalk, eating into the strip by my maple tree. A woman with a clipboard, perfect bun, and a voice like a car alarm waved me back. "Step away, homeowner. HOA improvement in progress." My toes stuck to the tar mist. My dog sneezed. A roller mashed 15 feet past the old line, right up to my fence post. The crew left a bumpy lip that trapped my gate shut. The clipboard kept talking about beautification. All I heard was the grind of my morning getting crushed. HOA Paved 15 feet across my sidewalk. Then I pulled the plat map. That's the fight. This wasn't beautification. It was a land grab with a shiny coat. I said, "You don't have the right of way here." She smirked and said the board approved it on May 3rd, 2024 at 9 p.m. after notice. I asked where the notice was. She said, "Check your email." I checked. Nothing. I walked to 3 neighbors. They glanced at their doors like doors could save them. One whispered, "Don't make waves." Another stared at the new edge and said, "They'll fine you if you talk back." The board never answered my calls. My gate stayed glued shut. That was my line in the sand, or the tar. I promised myself I'd do this the proper way. No yelling. No tearing. Just facts. I grabbed a notebook. I pulled rubber gloves and pushed my gate until it groaned open. I took 22 photos, each one with a tape measure and the old survey nail in frame. I wrote down dates and times. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Timeline item 1, April 5 at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. I remembered that night. A board member named Karen had called the police saying my cousin was prowling. He was carrying a ladder to help me clean gutters. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. I said those words out loud in my kitchen. Then I made coffee and started a plan that tasted like victory. I went to the county office. The clerk wore a sweater with a cat on it and took pity on me. She slid a stack across the counter. The file landed with 63 pages. My hands shook, but I smiled. Plat maps, easements, the old deed with my little rectangle. I traced lines with my finger. There it was, public sidewalk and utility easement clearly marked. The HOA common area ended before my fence by, wait for it, 15 feet. I paid $37 for certified copies. I filed a public records request for all HOA paving approvals. The response said there were 8 complaints about parking, no vote on new pavement, and a meeting that ended early for lack of quorum. I emailed the city right-of-way inspector with the maps. I CC'd the HOA manager and the board. No insults, no caps, just the images. The law is simple. An easement is a boundary, not a suggestion. The inspector set a site visit for Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Perfect. I printed big copies at the library. I bought cheap plastic stakes and bright string. That morning I set the string along the true line from survey nail to nail, every 5 feet flagged. The string stopped well before the new shiny edge. I kept it calm. When the board showed, Karen arrived with sunglasses and a smirk. She said, "You can't put that string here." I said, "Let's let the map talk." The inspector pulled up, measured, and then asked if we could all step back. He set my plat map on his hood and traced the box with a pen. He said the pavement crosses the sidewalk line and blocks a utility access. The city doesn't allow that. He asked who approved this. Karen said the board. The manager coughed. A neighbor filmed on his phone and whispered, "This is better than TV." Another yelled, "Zoom in" on the flag. It turned into a small street show. The inspector read out the measurements. People clapped on the word encroachment. Have you seen grown adults try not to laugh? They lost. The inspector told Karen the fix order would be posted in 48 hours. A car slowed and someone shouted online everyone's calling it Targate. By 6:00 p.m., my inbox pinged, the city's notice of violation. A friend posted the plat map photo to our neighborhood page. By 9:00 p.m., there were 132 comments. My favorite read, checkmate, string guy. Another said when you play HOA games, you win HOA prizes. I slept with the window open and listened to quiet instead of rollers. Coffee tasted sweet again. The flip came fast. 2 days later, a cruiser parked down the street at 11:14 a.m. The same officer who came for that false trespass call stepped out. He knocked on Karen's door, then walked to me. He said, "We're looking into the April thing, too." He pointed to my binder. I handed it over. He leafed through photos and logs. He nodded. I don't need to teach him the law, but I said it anyway in plain words. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. He said, "Understood." Then the city council email popped up with the agenda. Item 7, discussion of HOA paving. The meeting was crowded. I stood, kept my voice easy, and held up the plat. I said, "This is about lines. We live with each other better when we respect them." The council voted 3-0 to require removal, fines, and a refund of any costs billed to homeowners. The inspector added a replant order for my crushed strip. Total penalties, $3,500, plus repair of sprinklers and gate, They jackhammered the illegal lip a week later on a gray morning that smelled like rain more than tar. The maple shook, but it stood. The crew rebuilt the sidewalk at the right line. My gate swung free with a clean click. Karen lost her board seat on June 1st at 10:00 a.m. after a vote with 59 ballots. The manager sent a letter to everyone explaining the rule. No work without a quorum, no spending without notice, no touching easements. I put up a little table with lemonade and Sharpies. Kids drew chalk dolphins across the new concrete. A shy neighbor brought cookies and said thank you for taking the heat we were scared to take. I told her I wasn't brave. I was stubborn with paperwork. The truth is, the system worked when I forced it to. That's the revenge. It was never about shouting. It was about quiet lines on old paper and the sound of a gate closing like a period at the end of a messy sentence. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.